Hello and welcome to another edition of Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, Public Information Officer for the Morris County Government. A Focus on Morris County is a program that's designed to keep us up to date on the actions that are being taken by the Morris County Board of Freeholders. The show is also intended to make us all more aware of the many facets of Morris County government. For example, this year, as the county has done in previous years, there will be a number of household hazardous waste and computer TV recycling days, or drop-off days, as we call them. And here to let us know when those days are and to talk a little bit about the purpose of those days is my guest, and he is Tom Burbridge. Tom is with the Morris County Municipal Utilities Authority. He is the Hazardous Waste Coordinator for the MCMUA. Tom, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for having me.
These events, these household hazardous waste, electronics disposal days, the basic purpose behind these events is what, would you say?
Well, the purpose of these events is to give the residents of Morris County a safe and convenient and environmentally friendly way to dispose of household hazardous waste and used consumer electronics. And
in just a couple of minutes, we'll give you some examples of what those items are. But here in 2013, I believe there are 4 such events that are coming up, Tom.
Yeah.
Can you give us the dates and the locations of each one of those events?
Yeah, we scheduled 4 events for this year. The first event is going to be held Sunday, May 19th at the Jefferson Township Department of Public Works. That's at 1033 Weldon Road in Lake Apacong. The second event is going to be held on Saturday, June 22nd at the Morris County Public Safety Training Academy. That's at 500 West Hanover Ave in Parsippany. Third event will be Saturday, September 14th, again at the Morris County Public Safety Training Academy at 500 West Hanover Ave in Parsippany. And then the fourth and final event is going to be Saturday, October 19th at the Pequannock Township Municipal Building. And that's at 530 Newark-Pompton Turnpike in Pompton Plains. And all these events are going to be held from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., rain or shine.
And if someone would like more information, you could call 973-829-8006. And you could also get a lot of information, not only about these events, but about all of the other programs that the MUA sponsors by checking out the MUA's website, which is mcmua.com. Tom, I want to start to look at some of the specific items that individuals may bring to these events. Now, you mentioned electronics and computers. What kinds of computer equipment will be accepted at any one of these 4 events?
Well, residents can bring any type of computer equipment from their household. You're talking about desktop computers, monitors, printers, copiers, scanners, fax machines, laptop computers. So any type of computer from their household residents can bring.
Okay, now why should we bring these items to one of these events and not just place them out at curbside with the rest of our trash?
Okay, well, computer equipment contain, let's see, mercury, cadmium, lead, which are toxic heavy metals. For example, a computer monitor has about 8 pounds of lead in it. Yeah, so these toxic heavy metals are harmful to both human health and the environment. Also, it is now mandatory in the state of New Jersey for residents to recycle computers, computer monitors, laptops, and televisions. So.
Is there a fee, Tom, for dropping these kinds of equipment off?
No, there's no fee associated with residents dropping off these type of items.
Now, I noticed when we were talking about the computer equipment that can be accepted or that will be accepted at any one of these events, you kind of stress households
Yes.
can bring these. So I take it from that a business is not.
That's right.
Okay.
Businesses are not allowed at these events. Schools, any type of organizations, not allowed at these events. Strictly for residents.
Okay.
Yes.
You mentioned televisions also.
Yes.
Again, I'll ask you the same question. Why should we not put, our old TVs out at curbside for the trash?
Yeah, televisions, like computer monitors, which have 8 pounds of lead in them, approximately, televisions have even more lead in them. So again, a toxic heavy metal, which is harmful to human health and the environment. And also, now in the state of New Jersey, it's mandatory for residents to recycle televisions. They're not allowed to go out in the regular trash anymore.
And that's important too, because these days a lot of folks upgrade their electronic equipment, their televisions. They go from maybe 32-inch to these big 60-inch screens. So this is good to know if you're trying to figure out how to get rid of the electronic equipment that you've upgraded.
Yeah, and we have, that is exactly right, because we've seen a lot of the old style TVs coming in, being replaced by the flat screens. People buying the flat screens, and we've seen an awful lot of the televisions coming in.
Yeah. Now, what about the other materials? These household hazardous waste materials. Is this the kind of stuff that you would find under your kitchen sink, or down in your basement, or in your garage?
Absolutely. You're under your sink. In your garage, in the basement, you're talking about things like automotive fluids, your gasoline, your kerosene, your power steering fluid, brake fluid, motor oil, I may have said motor, but car batteries, button cell batteries, rechargeable batteries. You're talking about oil-based paint, stains, fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, aerosol cans that have material in them, household cleaning products, let's see, fluorescent light bulbs, driveway sealant, let's see, propane and helium tanks. We're talking about mercury-containing devices, thermometers, thermostats.
The old-style thermometers,
thermometers, thermostats. Anything generated by the household.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, what about these items? Are there fees to drop these items off?
Again, no fees. There are no fees associated with these items.
If someone has let's say a liquid or a powder in their garage or in their basement, there's no label on it. They're not quite sure exactly what it is. What advice would you give them? Should they bring it? Should they call somebody first? Or
they should probably not bring that to one of our events. They should call our office and set up an appointment for our permanent hazardous waste facility. There we'll have we'll have a little more time, and we'll have be able to identify it.
Yeah. Okay. Now you mentioned this permanent facility. So I take it that if someone, for whatever reason, cannot make any one of these 4 events that are scheduled spring and again in the fall, there is a place that they can go to take these materials. Tell us about that facility.
That's right. Morris County has a permanent household hazardous waste facility. It's located in Mount Olive, open 2 mornings a week, and it is by appointment. So residents would have to call the number, the hazardous waste hotline, which is 973-829-8006, to schedule an appointment to come to the permanent hazardous waste facility.
Okay. Now, we've talked about a lot of the items that will be accepted at any one of these 4 events, and also the items that will be accepted at the permanent facility. What items are not accepted? What should we not bring to one of these events?
Okay. Yeah, we definitely do not accept things like latex paint, again, business waste, unknown materials, medical waste. Let's see, what else? Smoke detectors.
Okay.
And then tires.
Okay.
Those are the things we definitely do not take.
Now, you mentioned latex paint, And I think that most of us who do, our own painting around the home would probably be using latex paint. And again, I think there are a lot of us who have, gallons of paint down in our basement that are half full. So what are you supposed to do with latex paint that is no longer usable?
What we tell residents to do is to, again, if you have a half a can, perfect. You've get a few scoops of clay kitty litter or clay speedy dry. Speedy dry is a stuff for cleaning up oil spills. Start with a paint stick, a few more scoops, you end up with 3/4 of a can. It's going to dry in a couple minutes. It hardens it gets thick like oatmeal, hardens in a few minutes. You can throw it, leave the lid off the can and throw it right in your garbage.
Okay.
Very quick and easy, best way to do it. Get rid of your latex.
Now, I want to ask you, Tom, to go through those locations and the dates again for the 4 household hazardous waste computer electronics drop-off events that the county is sponsoring here in 2013. Would you do that?
Sure. Yeah, again, the first event is going to be held Sunday, May 19th at Jefferson Township Department of Public Works Garage. That's at 1033 Weldon Road in Lake Apacong. Second one is going to be held Saturday, June 22nd at Morris County Public Safety Training Academy, 500 West Hanover Ave in Parsippany. Third one will be Saturday, September 14th, again at the Morris County Public Safety Training Academy at 500 West Hanover Ave, Parsippany. And the fourth and final one of the year is going to be held Saturday, October 19th at Pequannock Township Municipal Building, and that's at 530 Newark Pompton Turnpike in Pompton Plains. And again, 9 o'clock a.m. to 2 p.m., rain or shine.
And again, if someone wanted additional information about these events or about the materials that you may bring, you can call 973-829-8006, or you can visit the MUA's website, www.mcmua.com. Tom, how successful are these events? Do you have any statistics or know how much was collected, let's say, last year in 2012?
Yeah, I just had to do a report recently, a couple weeks ago, and last year we were able to collect and dispose of over 214,000 pounds of household hazardous waste and over 236,000 pounds of used consumer electronics.
Wow.
So it's a pretty substantial amount. And also we a lot of the towns are collecting their own electronics now, so we're still getting some good numbers, even with the a fair amount of towns collecting electronics. So,
well, Tom
Burbridge,
well. Tom, I want to thank you very much for being with us today and detailing those household hazardous waste disposal events. Now, if you have a question about county government that you would like to have answered, you can call the Morris County Freeholder's office at 973-285-6010. Why don't you visit the county government's website as well, morriscountynj.gov. Once you're there, you may sign up for the county's electronic newsletter. You can also you can become a Facebook fan. You can follow us on Twitter. You can take advantage of the various social media that Morris County government embraces. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you for being with us, but don't go away, because we'll be right back.
That was awesome! Hey, buddy! Yeah, you. You just stole this car, didn't you? Yeah, you did. You did. No, don't worry, I'm not mad. Because you know what? I thought it was smooth. I thought it was a great crime. And you know what? Here you go, 100 G's right here, buddy. Right here, all yours.
Make the anonymous call, 973-COP-CALL.
No, actually, the crime fairy's on break. I took her place for a while.
Welcome back to Focus on Morris County. I'm Joe Garifo, and I'm joined on this segment of the program by one of the newest members of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. He is Morris County Freeholder John Cesaro. Freeholder Cesaro is from Parsippany. He joined the Freeholder Board in June, I believe it was, of 2012, when he replaced Gene File, who left the Freeholder Board to take a position with the New Jersey Highlands Council. Freeholder Cesaro was then elected to a full 3-year term on the board in November of 2012. Freeholder, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Joe.
Let me ask you, for some of our viewers who may not be familiar with you and your background, give us a little thumbnail sketch, if you will, of,
Sure.
Of your background.
Sure. Joe, I just want to begin by thanking not only you for having me here, but the residents and taxpayers of Morris County for trusting me with their confidence to serve them by electing me this past November. As you said, I'm the freeholder who hails from Parsippany. I'm 41 years old. I am married, happily married, to my beautiful wife, Melissa. We have one son, Jake. We have another son on the way, due in June. I am an attorney at law with my practice in Parsippany. And I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. That's where my family came to when they came from Italy. I attended Rutgers University, received my Bachelor of Arts from that institution. I obtained my Master in Public Administration from New York University and my law degree from Quinnipiac University. I was a councilman for 6.5 years in the township of Parsippany, and now I'm sitting here as a freeholder.
So let me ask you, you were on the Parsippany Council. Why did you want to become a freeholder? Was there a particular concern that you had, or you just wanted maybe to broaden your horizon?
Well, I think it was definitely a concern for helping constituents and helping taxpayers. And when I made the decision to run for Morris County Freeholder, I had already been a councilman just a little bit over 6 years. And during that time, with the collective wisdom of my colleagues on the council, we were able to stabilize our budget for 3 years straight. And in addition to those quantitative things such as budgets and finance, I feel proud that I had a hand in other programs such as the Traffic Advisory Committee and the Transparency and Municipal Government Committee. And to me, I felt it was the right time to take those assets that I originally bought to the council in Parsippany, in which I was able to hone for over 6 years, and use them to serve the taxpayers of Morris County.
So do you think, John, as a freeholder, that municipal experience that you did have in Parsippany, is that going to be an asset for you as you serve at the county level, do you think?
Absolutely. Parsippany's form of government is a strong mayor form of government, which is basically your separation of powers model of government. I had to learn real quick when I got sworn in 2006. There were 4 other council people, i.e. the legislative branch, that I had to work with and get along with to make a smooth transition, not only for myself, but to make a smooth running of government for the benefit of Parsippany taxpayers. Don't get me wrong. If I disagreed with my colleagues, I let them know. What I'm trying to say is I was able to take that ability of teamwork with my colleagues on the council and bring it to the Freeholder Board. And it definitely prepared me, because the Freeholder Board, as I noticed back in June of 2012, and I learned very quickly, I'm one of 7, but it's different than the separation of powers form of government. I'm be responsible for drafting policy and steering the county in a particular way. And it definitely helps when you have that ability to work well with 6 other people. And I think that's what Parsippany did for me. It prepared me to work at the county level.
Now, you mentioned the Parsippany budget
Yes.
while you were on the council. When you became a freeholder in 2012, for a time you were on the Freeholder Budget Subcommittee.
Yes.
Was there anything during that period of time that you learned about the county budget that perhaps you didn't know before you joined the board?
Absolutely. The one thing that jumped out at me sitting on the budget subcommittee was that, well, first of all, you got to look at the history of where I come from, and I'm sure all council people or legislative bodies in the state can understand this. When we look at the budget at the municipal level, it's sort of a snapshot look at the budget. Every springtime, depending on what form of government you're looking at in particular municipality, you're looking at the budget around springtime, you're making additions, subtractions, more subtractions, of course, and then you make a determination whether you're going to pass or not pass that budget. What I found, what jumped out at me very quickly at the Freeholder Board level was that our county budget is really, and I don't have a more euphemistic way of putting this, it's a living, ongoing piece of work that goes on during the year. In fact, our first meeting in March, we voted to approve the budget. Well, the very next week, the budget subcommittee immediately went back to work thinking about 2013, 2014. So really impressed me is at the county level, the budget's not just a snapshot period of time, it's an ongoing process.
You mentioned the 2013 budget. It is a budget at the county level that has a 0% tax increase. Now, I know you were not in 2013 a member of the budget committee, but what are your thoughts on the 2013 budget that the county has?
Well, let me just state at the outset that I was on the budget subcommittee in 2012, which basically sets the foundation for 2013. So I'd like to say I have somewhat of a hand in it. But first and foremost, I want to applaud all budget subcommittees, last year's and this year's, and of course the Freeholder Board in its entirety for having the fortitude to come up with this kind of budget. But I do want to state on the record that one of the avenues that this Freeholder Board or budget subcommittee took to achieve this wonderful goal was a cut in the open space tax. I personally felt that the open space tax should have been more. The open space fund is flush with money. I know that our directors and employees at the county are not wasting it. I know they have plans for some of it, but I believe at this time the cut should have been bigger, should have been a half a cent cut. But I supported the budget. I was proud to support the budget because there is no rationale for not supporting a budget that cuts taxes. But I did alert my colleagues on the Freeholder Board, in particular the Budget Subcommittee, to remain vigilant in the upcoming months when they're reviewing or beginning to craft the budget for next year, that we need to take a hard look at bigger cuts in the open space fund.
Yeah, I believe the cut for 2013 was 3/8 of a cent for the open space trust fund. One of the things that you mentioned that you were heavily involved with when you were on the Parsippany Council was transparency in government. You've carried that over to the Freeholder Board here in Morris County. Let me ask you, first of all, to you, what does transparency in government mean?
Well, 9 months ago, I would have had one quick answer. Transparency in government to me means if you spend it, it goes online for the taxpayers to see.
Okay.
And I mean everything, from change orders to check registers to full budgets, not the state little short version state mandated budgets. I'm talking about the entire thing. People should know what the employees make in the county. That's what it would have meant to me. However, when I got on the board back in June, I hit the ground running with the transparency work group with a lot of great people on that committee, and it kind of morphed into something else. Went from objective to subjective. So now people are going to see on the Morris County website transparency section about how government actually works, in terms of how the bonding process works, the bond rating agency process works, how the budget process works, what a freeholder is. So it definitely morphed into numbers to, well, numbers and what county government is all about.
Yeah.
People are going to be really happy. They're going to learn a lot about county government online.
And there's probably still more that can be done, and that committee continues to work.
Yes.
But so far, you're pleased with the transparency efforts that the Freeholder Board have made this year?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've talked about the budget. We've talked about transparency in government. We have a couple of minutes left. Are there any other specific issues that perhaps you would like to see the Freeholder Board deal with over the next few months?
Well, we definitely need to get a move on shared services. It was one of my campaign platforms. In fact, towards the end of 2012, I drafted a resolution which created the Morris County Shared Services Committee, and that is now in effect. We are working towards putting a few more people on that committee, and let me say, for the record, that I know that all government officials are aware of shared services, and that I know that they do their best to be vigilant in looking for ways to share services. However, between personal lives and jobs and basically running their particular municipalities, sometimes shared services falls by the wayside, not intentionally. This committee, and if you get the resolution, the goal of this committee is to be proactive, is to actually go out there and just find new ways and ideas for all kinds of government agencies. And I made sure that it was multidimensional, could be helping town to town, town to county, inter-county, intra-county, county, state, state municipality. So I think we're going to do some good things with this committee.
Since you've been on the Freeholder Board, John Cesaro, what have you learned about county government? What have you learned about the Freeholder Board and the way it operates here in Morris County?
Well, what I learned about the county is that we are a great county. I think we have the best run county government in New Jersey. I've learned that we have a lot of dedicated employees. Freeholders themselves are also very dedicated to improving the quality of life and, of course, the financial quality of life for the taxpayers of Morris County.
Freeholder John Cesaro, I want to thank you very much for being
Thank
with
you.
us today, and I'm sure that over the next few months we'll be chatting again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, if you have a question about Morris County government that you would like to have answered, perhaps a question about an issue that we did not get a chance to speak about, you can give the Morris County Freeholders Office a call at 973-285-6010, and also visit the county government website. It's morriscountynj.gov, morriscountynj.gov. Once you're there, why don't you sign up for the county's electronic newsletter, Morris Connections. Great way to keep up to date on county government news. And also, while you're on the website, check out our Facebook page. You can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. You can view past programs and other county informational videos on YouTube. And you can take advantage of all of the other social media that Morris County government embraces. I'm Joe Garifo. Thank you very much for being with us. Tune in again next week for another edition of Focus on Morris County.